Hi guys, so it's been a while since I've made a video or posted a video on my Instagram, or honestly in general. I don't know why it's been so long, but I thought that this was the perfect time to put another video out there, and this one is surrounded by the topic of me living abroad during COVID-19. I've had a lot of just people who follow me ask a lot of questions in my DMs, and I just thought that, you know, since a lot of the questions are repeat questions, why not just make a video and kind of just explain my experience in a nutshell. So the first question usually is, where are you? Where do you live? And the easy answer for that is currently I am in Vietnam. I am in Hanoi, Vietnam right now, but I usually live in Chiang Mai, Thailand. So that's usually where I'm at. I've been living there for the past year to a year and a half. But the reason why I'm in Hanoi, Vietnam right now is because usually what happens is for the months of like January, approximately January to April, that is usually when crops are being burned, and it usually creates, you know, pretty bad pollution in the air. So it, you know, you can end up getting, you know, a little sick from that, which I have gotten sick in the previous years. I've been here since, I would say, the last week of February, like the first week of March, till now. COVID was a conversation, of course, you know, it's starting at its first outbreak in China, and then being in Thailand at the time, you know, being in Asia, we kind of, I think I remember hearing about it in January. But of course, the States wasn't very responsive to that in the beginning. It wasn't really a conversation topic that I know that I was personally having, and definitely not what I have seen, you know, a lot of my friends having either. So I would definitely say it was something that, like, you know, even I brushed off in the very beginning, because I was thinking, well, I'm not currently living in China. This is not something that's going to affect me. But, you know, you see where we are now. So our trip to Vietnam was actually supposed to only last a month, like 3 weeks to a month. We were only supposed to be here for the month of March and then head back to Thailand. But of course, the borders started closing, and, you know, we got stuck here. So, you know, home actually ended up being Vietnam for the past few months. Just to kind of give an idea of what quarantining in Vietnam was like, I mean, quarantining is the same everywhere. You know, you stay inside. So, you know, you catch up on Netflix, you learn new skills. Speaking of, I learned how to braid my own hair. Yes, I did this myself. Shout out to YouTube and all those videos I watched. But yeah, so, you know, quarantining, meaning being inside, cooking, and all that type of stuff, was the same. It was more so what it was like once you left the house, like the different practices that I feel like Vietnam had versus the States. Of course, being in an Asian country so close to China, I feel like our response was a lot quicker, and seemed like a lot more severe in relation to like how we were reacting to the virus, because we were a lot closer to it in proximity. So we started locking down, I would say, at least 3 weeks to a month prior to the US even talking about locking anything down. And when we locked down, when we were quarantining, they were very specific in, you know, it not being a suggestion and it being something that you had to do. So even something as simple as, you know, going to the park, the parks were closed off. You know, they had like their version of like cops like standing outside manning the park so that people couldn't gather. The grocery store, you had to get your temperature taken before going into the grocery store, and then again, so twice before you even entered the grocery store. And then you also had to use the hand sanitizer that they had available to us. So and, you know, mask, of course, you had to have a mask, and if you did not have a mask, you were turned away, and they would actually give you a mask from the pile that they had near the door. So there were a lot of precautions here, and they were not joking about any of them. So I think that the severity of, you know, how they reacted to the situation is why we were able to get out of lockdown so fast. I definitely had a few people asking me, you know, like, wow, you ended up in a country where people don't wear a mask. This was, of course, a few months after, right when America decided they wanted to start telling people they should wear masks. And then instead people went out and got toilet paper. But, we shut down for, I think, about like a month and a half. And when we shut down, we didn't shut down only a few places. Everything was shut down. They were able to not have a second wave. Of course, our borders were closed as well. And then, that's kind of, how the experience went. I mean, to be honest, like, as an American, seeing everything that's happening, I definitely think that, like, the one piece of advice I could say is, like, take it seriously. If you take it seriously, like, the sooner you can get back to your original lives. I know that, like, there was like a point in time where I wasn't posting anything because I wasn't going outside. There was nothing to post. There was nothing to do. And then when I did start posting, it was when I was able to go outside again. So a lot of people were kind of confused, and they were like, wow, you ended up in the one place where, people aren't taking COVID seriously, or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, honey, you need to check the stats because, of course, we can't be 100% sure, but we have no recorded deaths. We have like less than 20 people that are affected right now, and they are in quarantine. And they had no problem like quarantining people or whole streets and washing down streets when one person was affected, and even tracing these people and their schedules and where they were. All in all, I think that everyone has been affected by COVID, regardless of where you are. I think it's just a weird experience to have gone through something in a country that you are not a citizen of, and you really don't know that well. So going through the lockdown, I'm definitely very thankful that I was quarantining with someone, that I had my boyfriend with me. When I was sick, when I was just nervous, having an anxiety attack. So shout out to him. What has it been like since quarantine has been over? I mean, literally like normal life. If anyone has any idea what Vietnam is like, it is very busy here. A lot of people on the street. And people definitely still wear masks, use hand sanitizer, all of that stuff. But they're just more cautious. But of course, with the fact that the spread has never gotten like above, I think, 350, even in its worst times, I think that makes people a little bit more comfortable living their normal life again. But you gotta wear the mask because you just don't know if you have it or not. I've got to mention my favorite quarantine meal, like my favorite quarantine movie, all that stuff. So favorite quarantine meal was chicken noodle soup, and that's because I was feeling a little sick. And I think that chicken noodle soup is the best thing to have when you're not feeling that well. And it was fun to cook. And I think that my favorite quarantine movie, I mean, I don't know, because I feel like I can't even go on Netflix really that much anymore. I'm always asking for suggestions because I think I like went through everything you could possibly watch on Netflix. So I don't even know what my favorite was. Maybe because I don't even know. All of my work is done via online, so as long as I have a good internet connection, I can make money, which is great. And so that's how I've been living. Also, Vietnam is pretty cheap. Shout out to my lash lady. I don't know if you guys have an idea of how much lashes cost, but in New York City, it can range anywhere from like 150 to over $400. These are $20, same type of service, and they look bomb. So definitely things are cheaper here. And what's my next step? I mean, we're gonna try to get back into Thailand because our apartment is still there. I only packed for 3 weeks worth of clothes, so definitely want to get my stuff and then hopefully head back to the States and see family and friends. I miss them so much. That is basically in a nutshell. Tried to keep it short, sweet, and to the point, of my experience living in a different country, Vietnam to be exact, during COVID. And I hope you guys learn to make sure to remember to wash your hands, wear your mask, and just be smart about, living through these times. Hopefully more videos to come, and hope you guys enjoyed.